Yeah, the shining golden signs. Let your inner sparking night. Fat treasure, growing bright.
Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Kamen Spike, back again once again. Today we're here for Kamen Zeztz episode 7, Punish. And in this episode we got a lot of revelations. Basically, Nem's in a coma somewhere. She's in a coma somewhere. Her and her talent agent guy, they basically got into a very bad bus incident, and it put her in critical condition. And then when they had her in the hospital, then she disappeared from the hospital, and then he kept it secret that Nem was missing or possibly presumed dead. And if he had told anybody, then it would have set the world in a state of panic. And Baku didn't believe that at first, because he's like, well, she's on tons of ads and commercials and a bunch of other stuff. And he said, oh, that probably just a bunch of stuff that was already pre-done. That a bunch of stuff that was pre-done. So they got like a bunch of stuff they could just put her in or put out. They'll just let people know that she's not gone or whatever. She's okay. And it would actually basically bring up the whole thing about that's why she's in everybody's dreams, because she's consistently dreaming, because she's in a coma. So coma, comatose states are basically like your brain trying to restructure itself. So you're in a dream the entire time, and that's most likely why she's a different role every time you see her within a dream and stuff. And she's most likely probably lucid dreaming at the same time. But a lot of people think so the whole thing about her being dead and things like that, she's not dead. She just in Nox's freaking whatever he's in, she's in his room and stuff like that, or one of the rooms in his possible big mansion that he lives in, Castlevania mansion he lives in. And apparently she's guiding bad dreams, because she had a bunch of the hell butterflies around her. I know that's not what they're called, but I'm just calling them that. But the purple butterflies all around her. And we see that after we defeated the nightmare and things like that, the butterfly leaves whoever it's making the nightmare for. So I guess it keeps the power of that nightmare, I guess, and just leaves the person that it was inside of. But yeah, this episode was actually pretty good. We got to see the protection form, but basically like a form he can digitize and things like that. He can teleport, he can make digital clones of himself, he can make digital platforms and things like that. And this form was actually really dope. I like cloning type of forms. Duplication is my number one favorite superpower, so to see it done in this was actually really good as well. And I think that he ends up reconciling with his wife, the talent agency guy. I think he ends up reconciling with his wife, and they might not get a divorce, little side thing going on there. But yeah, he really considered Nem like his daughter. He essentially adopted her, but he really looked at her as his daughter and things like that. And he, at the end of the day, he really was really trying to protect her. And that was the thing that was really messing with him, because he doesn't know that if she's dead or alive or not. She disappeared from the hospital, so he doesn't know. And that type of stress can really take a toll on you. But overall, this episode was actually really good. I love the fighting in this episode as well, with the new form we got, and the idea of the whole prison being a nightmare itself, and he literally had to destroy the brain of this nightmare. The only thing I would say was I wanted to see the nightmare kind of fight back. It didn't really fight back like that. It had these eye laser things that were fighting him, but other than that, I kind of wanted to see a thing where the whole thing moved, because you had this big kaiju monster, and I'm just sitting here thinking oh, this thing is gonna be running around, he's gonna fight it, and a really epic way, which this was epic. The rider kick at the end of this episode was amazing. But at the same time, I kind of wanted to see the nightmare like actually like move and do stuff, like shoot lasers out of his eyes or something, like swing at him with your arms and hand with his arms and his tail and stuff like that, chase after him, stuff like that. Like I kind of wanted to really see that, especially with the new form, especially like with the new form that we got this episode. Also like displaying more of its abilities, which we saw a lot of its abilities, especially with like the clones have like a group rider kick, and then him on the outside destroying the brain with his rider kick was actually really cool. And yeah, like this episode was dope though. And with all the things that Nox was telling him about, like you don't remember your bad dream, do you? Like I think we're going to get to a point where Zeztz is going to have to deal with his own demons and his own bad dreams and his own nightmare, and dealing with his own subconscious thoughts and stuff like that. And I think we're going to eventually get to that point where he does have to do that. And I feel like his nightmare most likely is going to be broken. Like this thing is going to be really strong. But we don't exactly know what Nox wants to do. You know, like his methods are very unclear at the moment. But yeah, the stuff that he even tried to get the talent agency guy to like sacrifice himself to like save Nem and things like that, and like it wasn't, like we all know, like bro, like that's not gonna work. Like you have to sacrifice yourself to save her and things like that. Like Nox is an evil dude, man. Like he said maybe this is what his subconscious wants. I'm like, this is a manipulative guy, man. I can't wait to see Nox's story. Like if Nox ends up becoming a writer, I feel like this guy, I feel like he's also gonna be broken, because he's also, you know, in the dreams, and he's lucid dreaming just like, you know, Baku and Nem are. So he has a lot of influence over the dream world as well. But other than that, I'm just ready to see, well, no, next episode we get some food action, we got some food stuff going on. But other than that, this episode was great. This episode was great. Yeah, this episode was great. It was sad knowing that Nem is in a coma and she's in the main bad guy's house, you know. It was actually really sad. But and also seeing what her actual like backstory is. It's always the happy, goofy, you know, fun-loving, bubbly girl who has like the worst backstories. Like, you ever notice that? But other than that, what you guys think about this episode of Kamen Rider Zeztz?